I can, I can harvest. I'm just trying to find the document.
Okay,
I can do it.
thanks, Viola. I'll put the document in the chat so you've got it as access as well.
I have the link.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, there's a suggestion here that we take 10 minutes and check in with each other about where we're up to. And I'm wanting to pause it until Jeanette gets back so that she's a part of that, if that's acceptable with everyone, if we can just wait for her to come back. But what I might do is move to some of the agenda items and just name them so you know what we've got on the agenda. I'm keen to just get everyone's input on what we're doing for Opening Circle. I've made a brief outline of what could be some of the things that we bring to that Opening Circle. But the key question I wanted to have a little brainstorm, heartstorm together is what exercise or breakout could we do on the theme of supporting each other with the courage to create. So that's agenda item 1, some heartstorming together. Second is looking at the feedback and the harvest that we want to individually and collectively start to imagine so that we know how to ask and we're ready to ask for the sort of feedback that we might like, both for our own workshop and for the more collective picture. And the third item on the agenda is social media. And that's probably enough that we can get through. I did have some decisions to ask you about, and maybe we could tick some of these off because they'll be quick and easy, hopefully. But one is whether or not our meetings can continue on a Monday at 5:15 for the next 3 weeks, or if there's because I had the thought, maybe we could just do like a fortnight in the middle, so that we have the space and our energy to go to other people's workshops as well as present our own, because there's going to be a bit more asked of us in terms of time and support over the next few weeks with attending things. So I did have the question, but I also really want to check in as a group while the retreat's happening. So I'm holding both as mattering, like a spaciousness and also a check-in meeting time. I'd be very happy to meet every Monday at 5:15, just even if we did an hour or less, we could do a quick catch up maybe. Irene, what's your suggestion?
I'm scheduled for jury duty starting on Monday. Whether that will happen, given COVID and all the rest, it's unlikely to, but I'm scheduled to go to Shepparton for that. They say, if you get called up, they say allow 2 weeks.
Okay, well, then I really hope you get to come to Friday night's Opening Circle and Saturday's Open Space, because they might be, The open space is really something I'd love for us to chat about tonight too. I didn't put it on the agenda, but I can come back, chat briefly about that. Can we come back to the meeting? So I do one thing at a time. Meetings on Mondays. Can I hear feedback on how it is for others? Would you like to skip a Monday, have a Monday in the middle? Viola?
I'm afraid I've now got some workshop follow-ups every Monday for the next 6 or something, and that starts at 6. So
okay,
if we were to do a brief check-in at 5, possible, or another time.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Maybe we won't get to make a decision about this tonight. My hope is that that in the interim, we will check back in at 5:15 as we have been doing. And maybe we just have brief check-ins, see what it's alive, and book meeting, a proper meeting if we need one. Is that an okay interim proposal? I'm seeing some thumbs up. And thanks, Irene. So we don't know yet how that might change, but we'll just keep it as it is, 5:15, for a quick brief check-in for now. The other decision that I put here to consider, for you to register for the open space on Saturday. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, so that I could inspire you a little bit about why the open space will be something worth coming to. But now that Jeanette's back, maybe I'll do that after, and we can do our 10 minutes breakout. Samantha, how are you going? Are you nearly ready to come back in, or are you still setting up in the bus?
Yeah, I'm still. I've just got home, so I've got to take my laptop and go down. But I'm hearing everything.
Okay.
My preference would be to not meet if there's anything else happening on Zoom that week, because but I mean, I can also just not attend. So
yeah, the 5:15 check-ins I hope would be brief and may only be updates in terms of important bits and pieces, which I can write a quick summary of and put the recording and the notes so people can stay across things. Thank you.
I wonder if you didn't want to do Zoom, you could also call in by phone.
You tell him off too. You got to tell him off.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna go down.
Yep, raising a puppy. I know all about it. So, that piece about the request to register for Open Circle and the first open space on Saturday. Yeah, I'll just leave it pending, because the open space is a, well, actually, Shez, instead of pending, can we complete it? And I just let you ask you if you'd be willing to just give a brief synopsis what we did last time at open space when we only had a handful of people. Like you were sharing earlier, you said, my memory is we went into breakout rooms of 3 and...
Yeah, that's not what you're intending.
Well, I'm holding the possibility of both, because we don't know how many numbers we might get for the open space. And if we get a small group, then we'll do something more emergent and stay together.
It's just, I guess for me, it's so early in the program that, well, and because I wasn't across how you were imagining doing it in the way that you'd experienced online recently yourself, I only had the last time we did it last year. Yeah, my sense was that the group of us that turned up already had been journeying together for a while, so there was a level of trust and connection that enabled us to just kind of roll with it. And given that what you're imagining is something more akin to the formal open space technology with a board and sessions, and I don't know, I think it would be useful for you to share it and screen share the board, or so that other people, I don't know, I don't have a connection to how it would work online, and so that's where I am right now.
Thank
and
you.
I'm curious about, like, it's 5:40, and so we've got like an hour until we check out. So I'm just wondering which ones of these would, how do we want to prioritize the time or allocate time?
Thank you. Well, I was imagining 10 minutes in pairs now to check in on our workshops, 10 minutes to check out at the other end, at the end of the meeting. That gives us 40 minutes that we could split over the 3 topics, so like 15 minutes each with a little bit of leeway. Is a quick math.
For the piece about open space, well, there's the opening circle
right.
might be contained in that, and then there's the open space on Saturday afternoon, and what you're
Yeah, so thank you. You're right. 10 minutes in pairs, 10 minutes to close, it's 20, 40 minutes left. 10 minutes on the open space, 10 minutes on opening circle, 10 minutes on thinking about what we want to harvest and asking for feedback.
Is that, when you say harvest, do you mean the feedback that we would like to get after our session? Is that?
Yep.
You mean what form the feedback, or just
what form it'll be in, but also yeah, like spending some time doing reflections on Zoom, which is what we did last time. We had like a interview type thing where we'd sit with you after you'd done your workshop, and I just wanted to talk some more about the harvesting of like what we're learning and stuff. So that's 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes on the social media. That should all fit just about, even if it's a little bit less for closing, but I've got it up here now. Let's do a 10-minute breakout, and then maybe the energy will bubble up in a new way, and it'll feel a bit more like we're ready. All right, let's do it.
will the breakout room track, or do we need to track it ourselves? I'm going to use my timer, I think.
Please track ourselves just in case, because I haven't gone into the settings of breakout rooms, and I don't know what sort of countdown timer you might get. So just track 10 minutes for your pair.
You can also call us back in, can't you?
I can
call
do.
Us back in or no?
Yeah, I can do. It'll give you a minute's warning if
We'll do it.
So is one group going to be a 3?
Yes, one group's going to be a 3. Okay. Good to go? See you in a bit. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Irene, they're back. So let's just do a quick update for each other, like where we are. What's alive? Just like a sentence or two, if you're willing. Yeah, Irene, I can't hear you.
I feel much more alive, and I enjoyed that conversation, and I'm guessing we're pretty much all in the same boat as not very prepared.
Yeah, thank you. Do you want to pass along?
Yes, Samantha.
Well, yeah, my idea is very, very simple that I had, and I'm just not sure. I really don't really have words today. Yeah, just not sure what I'm meant to be saying. I'll pass to Shares.
Okay, I'm supposed to be harvesting and I'm not. I have no sense of what I might offer. I'm not even excited about it. I'm like, it's all going too fast. I can't keep up. I am excited about the poetry writing piece that I've asked Jenny Frayne to do, and that's quite clear. I need to get it up on I haven't done that piece yet of getting it up on the thing. I couldn't work out how to do it. I think I now have worked it out. But she's proposing doing 2 sessions, one to introduce it and get people writing, and then having an email each day, a prompt, and then having a second session later. for people to come back and share what their experience and what they've written. And so that's all great. And I'm really excited about that. And as for me, yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm excited about Jeanette's offering too. So I may or may not get myself there. So that's me. Oh, maybe I'll pass to you, Jen.
Yeah, I feel like the 10 minutes went extremely fast. I was just chatting about offering something around a conversation around connecting to culture and what that means for everybody, and bringing something that expresses our culture. And yeah, I guess celebrating and gifting parts of our culture. It's still in the thinking and exploration part, but that's kind of what it's going to be, more of an exploration and getting to know each other through that kind of sharing of culture. And yeah, that's it for now. Pass to Viola.
Thanks, Jen. I definitely resonate with the not ready yet. And what emerged in our little trio is the idea that what we do as a group, Irene was saying, was, come into the space and then see what emerges. And so a bit of a model of, well, what if we came with ideas imperfect, and put them on the table and see what, and invite people actually to workshop the workshop with us, so that there might be time to do that working out together, and there might be an actual, and now here's the workshop, but not necessarily so. So I'll pass to Kate.
I think I'm in the moment developing it as making it up as she goes along. And I feel like I'm going to do something reflective, something possibly involving play and being playful, and yes, something that involves some sharing and creativity. That's about as much as I know so far, but feeling a bit more excited about it. I'll pass to, I think it's Karen again. Is that right?
Thank you. I really love this idea that's bubbling, and the reason that I'm excited about the open space is that I think that's the perfect place to bring these ideas that need holding and more shaping, and that you bring your proposal to the open space and say, I'm actually wanting to bring my idea and have people help me hold it and see what we come up with as we play with it. So I really want to encourage that exploration and experimenting, and enrolling other people in your experimenting. I was talking about it with Samantha when we were in our pair about that I've purposely put 2 open spaces into the retreat between the 10th and the 30th. There's one at the beginning and there's one at the end. So for people who come along on the journey of attending things and starting to get to know us, and then by the end of the retreat they're thinking, oh, I could do something, those sort of, there's an opportunity towards the end of the retreat to come and bring something again, something new. So yeah, I'm wanting to hold space for both. If you're ready with an actual workshop, there's a space to put it in. And if you're not ready with an actual workshop, there's a space to bring that too.
Something I just wanted to share, that what previously I hadn't been really thinking about doing anything, but just over the last little while I've been thinking about, because I'm really interested in the area of finances, excuse me, something about superannuation. Oh. And the title that, because I think between us, there's quite a lot of money sitting in our superannuation account. And if that can be leveraged for our benefit in the best way we can, then wonderful. But I came up with the title for my workshop is Playing with Money. Playing with big money could be also playing with big money, because there's, for a lot of people, superannuation, it is big money. Anyway, something like that.
I love it. I'm very excited about that. So it could be that it comes to an open space and that you say, I've got, that's where you're up to, is this idea, playing with big money, and that you get to explain it a bit more to us. And and we help hold that, bringing that through. The joy that I have with the open space is that I've actually created 2 half-an-hour spots as well as a full hour spot. So it might be that a part, a half an hour is as long as what's needed to just bring an idea and play with it for a little bit. But that may or may not work. It'll be an emergent experiment. So if we break into the 30-minute spots and we want more, well, we'll go with that. Because that's what open space is. You use your law of 2 feet, and then if there's a lot of energy, you'll stay with where you are. So fantastic. I know we've blown the time out completely, but I'm really excited. I just needed to hear from all of you about where you're up to with your retreats. That's really moved the energy in me. Thank you. So to save some time, what I did today was I posted on the Facebook page a recording that I made last year with a handful of participants who, and we talked about feedback. And I'm using the word harvest, but I don't want it to be a confusing word. It's really just naming feedback and really wanting to bring it to all of you, because the part about being in this program of Our Time to Shine is bringing something, playing with it and learning and getting feedback. And that can happen in the process of delivering a workshop. It can happen in the process of delivering an idea and playing with it. But it's also in the reflections that you have afterwards. Now, I really value those reflections. And so last year we put in like a post-workshop interview process as one of the ways to collect your reflections. Maybe this year it's going to be different. I actually have a sense we need some time to percolate and reflect as well, not just straight after, but there is value in catching your reflections right at the time, because then you can have some processing time and then come back to what else did I learn, what else did I see. So my request is, please have a look at the video from last year. Start the video at about 12 minutes in, because there's just a bit of waffle and different things happening for about 12 minutes. Jump in at the 12-minute point. You'll get a piece where Shez explains how to ask for feedback in your workshop. So if you do a piece of workshop, like a workshop piece, and then towards the end, make yourself a big note. Ask, how was this? And from a bigger, from a meta perspective, can you give me any, would you support me with sharing your reflections? That's a really important request if you're ready for it, if you want to collect that sort of information, but I really highly recommend it. So there's that video to watch, and in that video there's also about half a dozen other recommended facilitator notes. I have made a summary above the video in bullet points, all the requests, so you'll be able to see them. One of them is, please arrive 10 minutes early before your workshop so that I can set you up with Zoom and we know where we are, that we've landed together before you start. Little things like that. So I would love if you'd be willing to check that list and just be across that list. And if you end up not having your own separate workshop, then some of that will be less relevant, but I still would love you to be across it. Yes, Shez.
Yeah, that piece from 12 minutes goes for about 8 minutes. When you get to 20 minutes, it starts to talk about the back end of shed, the shed thing that we used last year. I'm not sure how long that goes for. There might be something else that's relevant to this year after that piece, but it's
not really.
Mostly that 8 minutes.
It's the 8 minutes in the middle. Thank you, Shez.
It's doable to listen.
Where is it located?
It's on our Facebook group. Yeah.
How are we going for times?
Yeah, so I've just ticked off that. We can come back to, come ask me, message me if you want more help being held with your collecting feedback, please do reach out. And this is why I want those little 5:15 meetings to just check in how people are going and how they're making the most of the experience. Next piece was, well, maybe we could skip to social media and I could see if I could tick this one off reasonably quickly too, and then we'll have a bit more time for opening circle. I had this lovely idea that over the period of time that we're in the retreat, which is the 10th to the 30th, that a few different voices would be on social media. And I mentioned it to Natalie today, and she did this brave thing. She jumped on the Facebook group that we're all a part of, the Wise Women members group, and she just went live and told everyone that she was bringing her clay play workshop that she brought last year. She's going to bring it back this year, and shared how she enjoyed last year, and it was lovely. It was just a really live, unprompted, like impromptu sort of share onto the Facebook page. I had a longing for that maybe along the way of this retreat that you consider adding a post, adding a video, adding something about your experience to deepen people's connection with you and also deepen people's sort of sense of the community, hearing different voices other than mine. So I'm making a request that you consider it. Post what's meaningful to you, and if it calls to you, please do it, is what I'm asking. I did have the thought maybe we could record a little piece of our meeting here and put it out onto the bigger group saying, hello, we're excited, we're looking forward to it, this is where we're up to and stuff. I'm not sure that that's immediately that we're ready to do that, but I would really love to do that. So maybe can I ask in advance for next week so that at 5:15 we do a quick social media recording for the bigger group, and then in advance that it's going to happen. You can decide if you want to set up your background or whatever. I just want to give people choice and advance notice. That would be my request, and I'm okay if there's no willingness. That's my idea. That would be enjoyable for me to do, and see. And because Our Time to Shine is the first pilot of this program, I would love for the rest of the community to have a sense of, oh, these guys are all in Our Time to Shine. They've had not the journey they expected to have, but they're having an okay time. Like I suppose that's the hope, is that we get to share a little bit about our journey of Our Time to Shine, and that we're all part of this retreat. We're all part of showing up for it. And the other, I think that'll do for social media. So I wanted to mention in the decisions to make column, which doesn't really fit there, but I just wanted to let you know that Shez and I have spoken about co-working on Mondays for the next 3 weeks at 12 o'clock. And if you wanted to just jump in and co-work, if that doesn't clash with the other things you're already doing, that there's an invitation for an hour to just come and work together, work on what you're workshop is, work on whatever you need. Just have company. Yeah, sure.
I've got an issue with that, or a problem. Jenny wants to do her poetry thing during the day at lunchtime at 12:30.
Which day? On a Monday?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, then one of those we'll be at a poetry thing, but she hasn't.
I was speaking with her on Friday, and I wasn't across the co-working and including other people in that. It may be possible that she could do it on Tuesday, but my sense is she wanted to do it during the week, during the day.
Okay, and it may be that co-working isn't a thing and people don't need it. So I was just wanting to road test it and see if people enjoyed the thought of coming to sit together at the same time and be able to work at the same time. Yeah, me too, Kate. I like the idea. I like just the idea that we know each other's there and we just go about doing our work that we're needing to get done. So
what came up with Jen when no, she's not here right now.
She's come back. She's back.
She's here.
Oh, now Shez is gone.
Now Shez is gone.
So let's just play with the co-working idea. At the minute, we've got, that's understandable, Jeanette. We've got the idea and we've got a time called 12 o'clock on a Monday for the next couple of weeks. And obviously, if the poetry workshop gets booked in there, we'll work around that.
Oh.
And if there's other times you would like to co-work, we can schedule at different times. It was just we were trying to peg something into the program that we could then begin. So
sorry, I accidentally disconnected myself. Was wanting some support, like talking to somebody or getting some support to help her put her piece together. So and that's important too. So reach out on the messenger thread and ask who's got some time today at such and such a time, or any time after. I'm wanting some co-working time or some support with developing my workshop. Please use the Our Time to Shine messenger thread and ask, because that's really important. And, like mine's 3/4 done, but it hasn't got itself into an outline document yet. So it's like just having company to sit and actually get that finished. They're the sort of things that I can imagine co-working being really supportive of us. Okay, so we've got like 4:45. We've got a little bit of time. What I would really love to do is take the next 10 minutes for maybe some pairs discussion again. Maybe we'll do 15 because 10 minutes seems to go too quick. We can do 15. And just in a pair, would you be willing to say what the question I originally wrote was, what needs to be understood and felt? What needs are alive? And then I turned it into a question for the opening circle about the theme, supporting each other with the courage to create. What's a breakout we could do on that? What I remember last time is that at the opening circle, we had Lisa creating a beautiful song for us, and it was extraordinary. And I think there's a part of me in loss and grief and loss that I haven't gone to Lisa or any musicians and asked for some of that. But it was last year's energy, and it was what we did last year. And what I had come up. Sorry, I missed something. I said we have Kate.
We do. We could do some. Yes, we could do some drumming in the opening circle. Oh, that's exciting. So yeah, I'm wanting to think about like what could we bring, what would make it special. And guitar. Oh, yes. So what I'm holding is like the needs alive that I wrote down were like, I want belonging and inclusion. I want that to matter. I want a sense of, and community. So belonging, inclusion, and community. Also had needs alive around like understanding. People are going to want understanding of like how is this going to work, and what do I need to do? What do I need to understand? So I want to sort of have time to sit down and go, what would people coming who are new, who haven't been at any of these meetings, what do they need to know so that they can feel like they've come into the inside of the group and they know what's happening? And I also wrote a piece today that made me cry. And I was thinking maybe it could be an offering for the opening circle. You know, in a lot of NVC circles, sometimes we have brought like readings or offerings and gifts at the beginning to help us get into the zone of connection. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about that. And I posted this piece of writing today. It's aliveness in me to share it as part of our checkout, maybe. I don't know. I was sort of like, I got like bubbly excitements about the fact I even was courageous enough to share it on Facebook. So, but there's something about wanting to sacred space, that's what's here. So joy, community, sacred space, celebration of coming together. I mean, Natalie said today when I was talking to her about it, it's such a courageous act to come together joyfully as community and lean into our strengths together and lean into joy, you know, making joy and meaning right now. And that's what I want to resonate in that opening circle. I want for us to really own it, like, and stand in our power to be creative together. So has 10 minutes, because I've waffled on to a bit long, I'm telling myself, but 10 to 12 minutes, and to just sit with the curiosity of like, what could I contribute? What would be a good idea for the opening circle? What would help bring that energy? Like, just put our thinking caps on and start to co-create something for opening circle. And I do want people to put their hands up and say, I'm willing to do the landing, or I'm willing to do acknowledgement, or I'm willing to do, you know, like a piece of music or whatever's, to just help this, bring this vibe and bring this energy into the room. Like, we want to support everyone to come into the room, even if it's a Zoom one. How is that landing? Is my request clear enough in broad strokes? All right, let's do a breakout again. One sec, I'll just set them up. Any questions? Yeah.
If we're coming up with ideas, do we all take our own notes of the ideas that are coming up in our pairs, or will we just put them straight onto the document so that we could all look then afterwards?
Ooh. Oh, I like that. I mean, my initial thought is, oh no, we want to hear each other's when we come back. But if you want to start to type them into the doc, I'm really happy about that. Just head down to underneath the point 1 about the make a bit of chunk of space there, and we'll be able to type it in there. Thank you. Brilliant. Feeling more alive and in the support that I was needing. I was so looking forward to just going, I'm a bit in overthinking. I've dropped into meditation a few times today, so I stopped myself from trying to over control it. Okay, so there's going to be a group of 3 again. Okie doke.
Oh, whoops. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry, whoops.
I think it's going to a strategy now or an answer is not what I thought we were doing. I thought we were look, what is it that is calling to be included? And music or song or like for me right now is enough. And the what I would like to emerge from us connecting about what you said, the needs that we want to meet in the you're okay with that, Kate?
Yeah, that's awesome too. Thank you, Seb.
Yeah, like what came up in our group was about movement, you know, something physical. Yeah, that real need to connect. And actually there was strategies in it now that I'm looking at it, like breaking out and, you know, sharing with one other person and having a question. And yeah, I don't know, now
I'm wanting to step back. Can I jump in and suggest
Yeah.
a holding, like what if we just nominate people to be responsible for bringing the pieces they're bringing? So whoever nominated that beautiful piece about breaking out and wanting to do something about deepening interconnection through inquiry, my hope is that we do that piece of inquiry on the theme of connecting, supporting each other with the courage to create. So if someone would be willing to take that on and host that breakout piece, I can do the technology while you introduce that piece, and I can set up the breakouts. That would be a real support to me because it'd be a real team effort. So whoever in your group was suggesting that idea, I'd like to nominate you as the person to bring it. And also, yeah, completely hear your joy about seeing Kate's offering, Samantha, and echo it. And I'm just holding care for yes, and yes, I want it to receive this gift that you're bringing, Kate. And in the context of the opening circle, can we find something brief to? So yeah, it's a both. And also, if we go a bit over, in the opening circle, maybe allow an hour and a half. But I don't know, we've got 11 or 12 registered at the minute for the opening circle, and I suspect there'll be another 8 or 10 registered this week. So, you know, we'll be holding a sizable 20 or so, I would reckon. Yeah, Jeanette.
A question. I said the piece about having the pairs and doing that, deepening your connection through inquiry. But I didn't really know. I was just saying that, and so if we ask, I'm just trying to understand how, say, if I'm with somebody that's never been to this space, how we're asking around their courage to create, because what if they're not create? They might be like wondering what they're creating, or I don't actually understand that part.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wondered whether or not that. Well, in that case, maybe it's a conversation that maybe I could have, and maybe we could have together, and hold a space for that inquiry piece, because I think you can invite people into a courage to create, whether or not it's a workshop or a stronger connection with someone they love, or a repair, or there's anything is possible with the courage to create. So I want to include everyone in the theme, and be able to give people a space to be in that deeper inquiry of, in this time where I find myself, how can I invite a greater courage to create in a way that's in alignment with my values, something like that. So, or in the work that's calling me. So yeah, I think it's possible. I just would love it to be not my voice. I mean, I'm happy to contribute, but I thought maybe it'd be lovely to come from one of you. So if you want to work with us.
So for you, there's a real thing about shared voices, like shared facilitation.
Yeah, like I'm still happy to host, but I'd love to hand pieces to people to.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing from Jen is it's important how that piece is set up. Like,
yeah, me too.
Because that's holding care for people who are new to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell that I'm anxious because it's overtime. So I'm just going to breathe for a second. Kate?
And I just want to say that if you're doing that, now I know the song.
Awesome. All right, can you post
Shazza
it? Can you post it to us in the messenger thread so we oh, you don't have to actually you don't have to sneak preview us. Yeah, as you wish. Okay, so the other group, Kate, that you were in, did you have any other additions to feedback that you would like to offer? And is everyone okay staying another 5 minutes while we capture this?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Who was in your group, Kate? And is it Viola and
sorry,
Irene? Who would like to offer
That's
from
right.
your group?
We really didn't discuss the feedback part of it, did we?
No, not the feed. Oh, sorry, Karen. Are you talking about feedback as in the harvesting at the end of our sessions? No, I thought you were talking about.
Can I know what you guys talked about in the opening circle from your group? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just take the feedback word out.
Yeah. Viola, do you want to share what you were talking about?
Yeah, I basically was saying I'm not ready and I want to run away. So I was feeling a lot of fear and insecurity and quite a lot of anguish actually. Partly, I think, because introducing my notion of connecting to country may bring up for others, you know, the tensions that arose at an earlier meeting and that we've put aside, but I'm just sort of feeling like they might have some some anger is the word that comes to mind around it. Yeah. So
I want to give reverence to this piece. Can we bring it to Monday? Because there is a second open space and I would love for you to be supported, Viola, to be reassured and to also hear how everyone is now. Like if we were willing to stay and all give you feedback, that's what I would enjoy to do. But I'm also holding care for people's other commitments and dinner and so on. I want to reassure you from my point of view, but I can't do that. I would like the whole group to be able to give the honesty of where they're actually at with the subject and how they would feel about supporting you to do the workshop.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, are we talking about a workshop or a piece of the opening circle?
Well, Viola did not speak to the group that she was in about the opening circle. She spoke to the group about how she was feeling about her workshop and bringing her work.
Okay.
No, it was a bit of everything. It was kind of a response to being invited to create a particular kind of energy that welcomes others when I didn't feel like I had that I was part of the group. Really is kind of the idea that came up, you know, how can I do that? How can I? And I'm sorry to just throw this in here, but yeah, I'll have to go in 5 minutes too.
So what I'm hearing,
I appreciate your honesty. There's no need to, for me to apologize.
Yeah, and what I hear is actually there was a disconnect for you from that meeting, and that we put it as a pending item to come back to it, and we haven't in the space between then and now. And so it's actually been an outstanding matter for you, and it's actually impacting your courage and ability to come forward. And I feel,
or I'm making excuses. But
I feel like I'm holding the possibility of that too, but I'm also like, we are all like, the energy is really, it's calling us to be in our truth telling. It's saying if you're going to be called to have courage to step up and create, then it's going to ask for your honesty and truth telling. And you are in that process as much as the rest of us. So I feel grateful for you asking. First of all, what I hear is a sharing of not ready because this is what's happened for me. I've got an impact from back here. And you're bringing it to all of us because all of us were there. And that makes sense to me. Like, it is appropriate. I mean, at the beginning of each meeting, there's this line in our agenda doc that says, can people please bring co-create the agenda? And this is an item that I would want to be right up the top with, like, I want to bring this up. I've had an impact. I need to bring this to circle. So I'm super grateful you have. And I'd like to come up with a proposal that that us as a group have a session about this to support Viola before she feels before opening circle, which means this week, that we support you, Viola, to have a sense of completion about the impact you've experienced in our company, and that we all get to say what's true for us about this subject and how we want to, you know, the support we have for you to come back to join us, because it makes no sense me talking about an opening circle if we are not in harmony. And I mourn that I didn't know I would have brought it first.
It only came up because of the energy of the way the question was suggesting that we were inviting people in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
that's great that it came up, because it still gives us time to support a healing about that, or a restoration that I'd like to propose. So can I propose that we do it like Wednesday evening?
I want to, I'm not willing to meet again, particularly as we'll be meeting on Friday night. And I think that maybe there's no rush. I know you've you know, we've centered around this weekend. I'm also hearing that Shares is maybe not ready and maybe needs some support around what she wants to offer, and maybe other people in the circle, like this, what's just come up now, and the way you so masterfully, well, that's my judgment, you so masterfully handled it, Karen. Like, that's what I think, that's what we're here for. You know, it's nutting through these difficult things, and we've had a couple come up, and we don't, you know, we're not putting on a show for anyone. Why can we not give ourselves the time and space to till we are ready? That's my thoughts.
I'm taking a big breath. I'm just wanting to clarify. Are you suggesting that we postpone the opening circle till we're ready?
Yeah, I'm hearing that Viola's maybe not ready. I'd like to hear something from Shares, perhaps, on what, or just how, yeah, your response to what I've said.
Okay. So just
anyone else.
Clarity again. Are you meaning the whole retreat, or
yes?
Thank you.
Yes.
I just needed the clarity.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just talking about the opening circle. Oh gosh. I feel torn. I am struggling with the pace, and I wasn't going to suggest postponing it. Where I came to was, this is a collective thing. I don't want to force myself to contribute if it's not alive for me. And I was trusting that as we journeyed, there might be some clarity about something that I'd like to offer that would come out of the process of engaging. And actually, I thought I had an idea and now I can't remember what it is. That's a bit sad. Yeah, that's where I am. And this whole piece about the acknowledgement of country, I have had some resistance to doing it in recent times, and I don't know quite what that is. I think what comes up for me is just, yeah, grief about how it is, really. But yeah.
I'd just like to put in a word to clarify. Thank you, Shez. Like, if it was just us, you know, I'd say, yeah, of course, we just go for the opening circle. We just, you know, just us. And I'm hearing that there's a whole lot of other people coming in, so we need to be ready.
And we each have our own piece of work to do too. It doesn't all have to happen and get resolved in this space. Like, we can be self-aware, self-responsible, do our work with the bits that are up for us as well, really. You know, I don't see that it all needs to come here. In fact, that's going to bog us down and we'll be here forever if we do that.
Yeah.
That's a piece of clarity I've gotten out of this, and I'm like, maybe I should speak to Viola or to Kate, or, you know, because, like, yeah.
Well, yeah, how about that as a strategy, that whoever feels, whoever, you know, would like to support Viola with that, they schedule a session this week. If Shez wants to reach out for support, she does. And yeah, as you suggested, Karen, you know, on the messenger thread, using that as a...
So we are in the land of strategies around the messenger and the meeting, and what I'm actually mourning is that I didn't reflect more deeply the pain that's been caused and the impact you've experienced, Viola, because I was concerned about time. And I did launch to a strategy called Can We Meet Again, because I want to give this full depth. And I did want to do it as a group because we were all together when it happened. And I do understand self-responsibility, and I'm holding it tenderly because it needs to be both. There are some times when self-responsibility is the only appropriate way to handle my piece. And sometimes it's a holding of both the I piece and the group. There was a group impact, like we were all here for it. It wasn't between two individuals. So I still have a curiosity about bringing it back to all of us together. And I'm open to it being that the people that feel moved to connect with Viola attempt to do that in the next couple of days. If you're willing to have that be a strategy, Viola, how would it be for you if a couple of us reached out and wanted to connect independently?
I'd love to have a chat. Overall, it's more about, I don't want to be holding the space in the circle, at the opening circle. And then if I can step out, then I'm comfortable.
Thank you. So what I'm hearing is that maybe you thought that I might, or others might have an expectation that, given that acknowledgement to country is something that you have a workshop bubbling about, that you might be asked to do that for the opening circle, and that you're choosing not to. I just want to get clarity.
Yeah, thank you for checking that. It's not about fearing that I will be called to do anything at the opening circle. It's the idea that I am part of the holding circle when I don't feel like I am part of the circle enough to hold the space for anybody else.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And you said that, but I'm glad that you've brought it back to that, because that makes sense, and that the impact, yeah. What would help, what would meet your needs for restoration? Can I ask that question, and would you be willing to ponder it? Because I would love for people to reach out to you if you have willingness to receive them.
Yep.
But I would also love for you to ask for what you would need to have that restoration happen. And what I just had the thought was, what if we came early to the opening circle, all of us, and we had our own private opening circle first, and we just feel connected as best as we can. Like if everyone's not at 100%, that's okay too, that you are welcome in whatever state of willingness and readiness you are to be in the group. Like there's no have to's or should about have to be 100%. Either. But what if we arrived a bit early to be together? That's what else has come up for me. But can I hear from you what you would like? That's what I would like to leave it as, a checkout where we hear from you next what you would like, Viola, as a beginning restorative process for you. And maybe just leaving you time to really be with that, since you've raised it and we're all now present to it. We can help hold it energetically, even if we're leaving the meeting now. Is that sit all right with you?
Yep.
The request? Thank you so much. I really appreciate you bringing your disharmony to and that sense of like vulnerability and courage. I mean, you've really just stepped into the work in such a powerful way. It's gorgeous. Thank you. So I'm doing closing notes. Closing notes are next week, Monday, 5:15. I've proposed that we're doing a Zoom recording. So that's a proposal still on the table for next Monday at 5:15. The second one is please request register for the open space on Saturday, if you haven't already, and the co-working invitation for Monday at midday. That's it.
And the opening circle?
Well, the open circle, I think all of you have registered now for the opening circle on Friday night. Maybe you, no, I think you have, Samantha, haven't you?
I have.
I've just registered now. Do we know what we're doing?
So my thinking is that if you have something that you would like to contribute to the opening circle, to communicate it during the week and give me a time frame about how much time you might like it to take. And I have a skeleton of an opening circle, and I can help hold that space. And if you would like to make a contribution into it, I would really value that. There is no have to or should, and there is a sense that we are only just beginning the journey. We're not having to come arrived and perfected our harmony on Friday night. We are beginning the unfolding. It's not going to be like ripped open the flower and has to be fully opened. It's like a little budding. It's a little beginning. It's like we're all just stepping into this gently together. Thank you. Can I hear voices to check out? Peace in the middle.
I'll pass. I've said plenty.
I'm appreciative of how we are, how things emerge, and we then deal with it the best way we can in that time, and then whatever we need to do as things go on, that will evolve. So thank you, Karen. Thank you, Viola. Samantha. And I'll pass to Jeanette.
Thanks, Irene. Yeah, I'm really holding the bravery that you bring, Viola, for bringing that up again, because it's definitely come into my mind a few times since. So yeah, I definitely want to connect with you around that. What else is my thinking? Yeah, I mean, I think I just need to do a lot of, sometimes when I process, I just want to do a lot of like writing or around what I like, around the open circle, or what I could bring, or and try and alleviate the pressure that it's a shared thing. Yeah, pass to Kate.
I'm feeling welcoming of the emergent. I'm also feeling like the things that were raised, that Viola's now raised a concern about, and we have spoken a bit, that I feel like I've pointed to something that belongs to all of us, and I feel like it's about our shared response to that. And I'm feeling like ducking in case it's going to come and be dumped on me and blamed on me. I'm very wary of that. And I would hope that I'm happy to own the part that and learn the parts that I need to learn. But I feel like often when I was the cute who said the emperor's got no clothes. And so I'm saying it here, and I said it then, and I stand by that, but I'm also willing to learn. And but I don't want to be made wrong for the skill of going, something's not right here. Even if I'm doing it clumsily, because sometimes I do it clumsily because I struggle with the words to get to the point of what we're trying to get to. So I forgive myself for that, and I hope that you can forgive me for that as I learn. Thank you.
Maybe Shiz?
I don't have a lot to say either. Yeah, thank you. It's emerging, and it will continue, and I trust the process. Thanks. Has everybody, over to you, is it Karen? Or Viola?
Viola.
Yeah, I'm not feeling very clear about what's going on.
Do you remember when it happened? Do you remember how many weeks back, or the date?
No, it's just today. The discussion about, I don't know.
Yeah, because I was wondering about going back and seeing if I could find the recording so we could get some facts and stuff like that to help. But
no, it's not actually it's not anything to do with the acknowledgement to country at all. What's triggering me is the invitation to step up and perform and be bright and cheery and holding others in the space when I don't feel, for those reasons of what I remember from the discussion. Feel ready to be that quickly this Friday.
Right. I mourn that I mourn that there's been an impact of somehow I've said it in a way that has had you believing that I have an expectation on you to be showing up in a way that feels that has brought resistance for you. I feel sad that there isn't like a sense of warm acceptance that you can turn out however you would like, or that you feel like it's a performance. I remember last year was different. Like I remember last year there was a big number, and it was the first retreat ever, and there wasn't a group of us traveling, and it's a whole different context. And my thought was that this is the beginning budding of something new this year. This is a new co-creation in terms of well, we're all showing up. That's the only agreement that we know we have. And the invitation was I was wanting to come from a place of warmth and inclusion, of like, please, let's do this joyfully. Let's bring and contribute and like make it a little bit more like, you know, not all all voices matter. But I also want for you to experience that as a warm and joyful invitation, not as a have to or a should or in any performance or any pretending to be anything other than who you are. Like if there's a no alive about contributing anything, I want that no to be honored as much as I want everybody's truth to be honored. So
Thank you.
if I have given you any indication that you are in some way expected to be anything other than who you are, I apologize. That is not my truth.
Thank you. I know that.
Big love, and I will look forward to like hearing truth as we travel this week and hear requests and hear each other's hearts. This is the pointy end. It's like being in labor and being in the last exhausted. So let's hold the energy, because it is a little bit like that. It always, for me, it's always been like that coming up to a workshop or whatever it is I'm creating. It can often feel a little bit unsettling. So I welcome the unsettled parts of us too. Thank you very much for staying longer tonight. I really appreciate it. Much love. See you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.